The next 6 months are about to change your life forever. And you might be asking, can I actually change my life in 6 months? Absolutely. I'm going to put you on a 6-month challenge where you're going to lock in, stay committed, and do the actual work so then you can actually enjoy your dream life and goals. Okay, so you're probably thinking, how do I change my life for the better? And while 6 months does sound like it's a bit of a short period of time to completely reinvent yourself, trust me, it's more than enough to completely turn your life around. If you want to master a skill, you will need 10,000 hours of focus work, and that's about roughly 13 months. 6 months then is literally halfway to mastery, halfway to mastering one skill. That's a crazy progress if you ask me. I mean, you could literally be halfway to your dream life right now if only you committed and decided right this second that you are changing your life, that you are taking those next 6 months and turning everything around. So what are the excuses? So in this video, I'm going to give you 6 powerful and non-negotiable steps that you can take from today, starting today, and completely rebrand your life, even with no money. So the step number 1 is that clarity is everything. The reason why you're unable to change your life is not because you are lazy, it's because you need that clarity. You don't have a structured plan, you don't have a structured idea and a clear idea of what you want to achieve. Therefore, you can't take steps towards it because you just don't know what you're doing. You don't know where you're exactly heading. And I know it can feel intimidating, especially when it comes to setting your goals, and especially when they are big, because us self-development girlies and girlies that want to dream big, we like to set big goals, okay? And when we see a timeline of 6 months, it feels a little intimidating and it feels like, wow, okay, this is it's a little short. I don't know how it feels, okay? But let's just think of this. Let's remind ourselves of this one thing. Are we really willing to give up on our dream lives just because setting goals feels a little overwhelming? So in order to get that clarity and set your goals in a smart way, you need to use SMART goals. And I know you probably heard this phrase many times, and those SMART goals are specific for personal development. And to just briefly touch on what they mean is basically making sure that your SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. So for example, if you're setting a goal and you want to think about them in a specific way, ask yourself, is this your confidence era? Is this your discipline era? Is this your feminine power era? Maybe you want to set a milestone that you want to achieve in gym, in running, in art. Maybe it's just you want to be more confident and you want to build that confidence through going to more events. Whatever it is, write it down and make it very specific, because you can't really go after something that is vague and doesn't excite you. Then you will need to sit down and determine how you're going to measure that goal, the timeline, which we already have, which is obviously 6 months. But I'm not going to go into too much detail about this because this video is not really about SMART goals. So if you want a guide on that, then let me know down in the comments. So now that we have our goals set and they are all SMART, they are all measured, are we good to go? No. No, girl. So what we need to do is actually think of our why, because this kind of goes hand in hand, okay? This step is about clarity, and clarity is when you know why you want to do this, okay? So why you want to change your life? Why now? Why do you feel dissatisfied with where you are currently at? Ask yourself those questions, and it needs to be really specific. Don't make it vague, because this is when you're gonna be more willing to give up or more willing to procrastinate. Make it so specific that you just cannot even imagine of giving up on it. For example, if you want to achieve financial freedom or stability, instead of saying I want financial freedom, say that you want to feel the freedom, you want to build a foundation, and you want to never ever ever again feel stressed when you approach the till at a grocery store. It needs to hit deep. It's never too late to start your life again, because you deciding right now is such a powerful shift. You're gonna thank yourself later, trust me. Your higher self is watching you right now and being like, yes, go, let's go. Step number 2, detach from the outcomes. If you're starting from scratch, I want you to remember this mindset shift that I'm going to tell you right now. Desperation kills momentum. You cannot obsess on when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, how you're going to get it, because that will only delay every progress and also make you frustrated, overwhelmed, stressed, anxious. And you don't want that. And not only that, you will completely miss the beauty of the journey, because journey ultimately is the reward, the experiences you're going to get, the wisdom that you're gonna gain. You're gonna miss all of that because you're gonna be so obsessed with the results that you're just gonna be completely blind to the beauty around you and what you are achieving and what you're learning along the way. The law of detachment says let go of how and when. Focus on the now, focus on the journey, and assume, well, that's law of assumption, but assume that it's already done, it's already yours, and just move like you already have it. Okay, let me put it this way. So let's say you're gonna plant a seed, right? I assume that you wouldn't go every day to your garden and kind of dig it up again and just check, are you growing? No, of course not. You're gonna water it, you're gonna do everything that it needs, but you're gonna trust that it's gonna grow in the next few months, year, whatever you planted. So this is exactly what I want you to do with your journey. Trust it, but let go of the timing, let go of the outcome, let go of the when, let go of the how. The decision that you make right now, this is the seed. Every action is nourishing this decision, is watering this plant, and it's growing, growing, growing. And obviously the fruit and everything, this is the reward, this is what you're gonna get. Simple as that. And also, if you want more guidance on the law of detachment, because this is one of my faves, let me know down in the comments and I'll be happy to make a video on that. Step number 3 is building systems, not motivation. Remember that motivation fades. It's just a temporary high, but it's not something that always stays with you. Relying on motivation, relying on your mood is not something that you want to do. But having systems in place will always make sure that, one, you can always get back out of a slump, you have a very clear strategy, and you can revisit everything, and you can see your progress in real time, and you can see your growth, and that will help you move forward, not backwards. So in order to reinvent yourself, you need to track your wins, create simple habits, reflect weekly, build systems that align with you in the best way possible. So it can be setting up a Notion template, it can be using Excel, whatever app, okay, whatever you find aesthetically pleasing and that is easy to use and you can understand it well and everything is just, you know, works for you, use that. And also journaling is a great way. Okay, so what I want you to do, pick a random notebook that is just laying around collecting dust, okay, in your room, and use it as your reflection journal. You can also have other journals, so manifestation journal, gratitude, or you can have both, or you can, you know, just use one for everything. I personally like to have a clarity journal that is just specifically for that, and let me explain what clarity journal is. So clarity journal is basically when you feel like you have so much mental clutter going on that you kind of want to get out. And that also goes for subconscious beliefs. And this is basically a blank page and you just write everything as it goes. So you don't try to be grammatically correct. You just write what you feel, okay? You let it all out. And even if it's something really negative, like, oh my God, I hate this. Oh my God, like, I just don't want to do this anymore. Let it out. Because the more you let out, the more you clear inside. So to sum this up, get your systems ready and don't try to make them perfect from the start. That's also one thing that I want you to take away, because the more you try to perfect it at the very beginning, that's yet another excuse. Put away perfectioning your systems, build them as you go. Step number 4 is do your best, whatever it looks like today. So of course, turning your life around requires loads of effort, loads of commitment, and obviously doing your best. But you need to remember that doing your best looks different every day. So one day your best might look like cold shower, gym in the morning, then having a walk, then having a very productive work block for like 5 hours. But another day your best might look like you just got up, had a slow routine, responded to 2 emails, showered, and had to lay down for the rest of the day. Both of those days, they still move you forward. And that's what's the most important in this journey, because you're not gonna be always on the same vibration all the time. You're not always gonna feel so motivated and so ready. Sometimes you will feel overwhelmed, you will feel like you need to slow down, you will feel a bit stressed, anxious, and that's okay. It's important to honor that so then you can easily get that balance back in your life, and you can also restore yourself, recharge, and pause for a bit so you can show up the next day at your 100%. And if you ever feel low or stuck in terms of your energy, I would suggest finding things that genuinely bring you joy. And that is aside from the goals, okay? So it can be, I don't know, watching your favorite show, having your favorite ice cream, maybe cooking a home-cooked meal. Just try to see what genuinely just lifts you up. Maybe it's doing your makeup, or maybe it's throwing an outfit that you really like. Whatever it is, get that into your routine. Have it as that SOS kind of pick me up routines and then do that. Even if you've done that, you still feel like you're in a slump and you feel like you need a break. This is your body telling you, okay, we need to relax. Don't romanticize hassle, romanticize long-term commitment and long-term results. Step number 5 is small habits and big changes. So to change your life radically, you actually need to make sure that your goals are split into those small, bite-sized, actionable steps, because that's when it feels doable and achievable. And the reason why setting goals may feel so overwhelming, because like we discussed in the previous step, this sounds like so much work and just a very little amount of time, especially if you have other commitments going on as well, like a full-time job, uni, school, driving lessons, whatever it might be. It might feel like, oh my gosh, I don't have enough time. And that's why it's so important to split it into small pieces so it doesn't feel and seem so big. This is your nervous system talking, trying to adjust, right? Because your nervous system only knows what it's been taught so far. It only knows what you've experienced so far, and it only can really tell what's safe and what's not from what you've been through so far. So I'm actually going to give you an example of what I did recently, okay? So I lost 20 kg and that was actually in less than 6 months, okay? So let's say that you want to lose 30 kg in the next 3 months. So what I want you to do is actually in the week 1, establish what calorie deficit would be best for you. Learn about calories, learn how to track them, learn how to improve your eating. Do that, focus on just that this week. In week 2, you're gonna add a workout in the morning, okay? And it can be simple as yoga, it can be as simple as just a little stretch, okay? Because that's what I did. I decided to do yoga every morning because that was something that I actually looked forward to, okay? And it's only a 10-minute yoga. It doesn't burn many calories, but it burns some, and that's the most important part. So that's week 2. Then week 3, we've got another workout routine, but in the evening or midday. So it can be a longer walk, maybe 20-minute walk. Maybe you just want to do an actual cardio at home. Maybe you want to go gym. Whatever fits, do that. And on top of that, in week 4, you're gonna add maybe new recipes, maybe you just want to try a different workout routines, maybe you want to switch them a little bit, and you're going to reflect how it's been going for you. And that's how you break it down. And it suddenly doesn't sound so scary, right? It sounds like, yeah, I'm gonna lose weight, but it's actually broken down so well that it doesn't intimidate me anymore. That's how I felt. So the point is really to just be able to prove to yourself that those goals are actually really easy to achieve. And in fact, you might be surprised, but you might find that, oh my god, this is so easy, I can actually make it even bigger. And by all means, go and do that. So make sure that it's still easy to just throw into your daily life without taking much time out of your social life or anything else that you want to prioritize. And the step number 6 is to embody here now. You don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. Start acting like the version of you that already has it all, okay? Don't wait until you actually get those things, because there's no point. It literally doesn't make sense. Start acting like the version of you who already has it all. How is my higher self acting on a daily basis? How are they responding to things? How are they planning their day, etc., etc.? You get the gist, right? And this technique is known as identity shifting. And identity shifting is when you collapse timelines, essentially. I know it sounds a bit like a juju. I know it sounds a bit woo-woo and stuff, but it's not. It's basically you just stepping into your higher self, your future self, and embodying who you want to be much quicker. That's essentially what it is. And that way, when you become your future self, you attract all your miracles to your life so much more easily and so much faster. So going back to that example of losing 30 kg, when you think about your future self, right, that lost 30 kg, you might come up with things such as that person is probably very happy, very confident, no matter how their body looks like. They probably listen to their body, they love their body, and they really take care of it. Their mentality is different. They are more disciplined, they don't rely on motivation. Maybe they know more about nutrition and healthy eating. Whatever it is, it's important to really understand what that person thinks on a daily, acts on a daily, and how they move, how they react to things, so you can embody that person right now. And like I said earlier, this is identity shifting, and what you're gonna do by identity shifting, you're gonna collapse timelines and you're gonna attract your dream life much faster. And what I want you to take away from this video is that even if those 6 months have some hiccups, you might not even achieve those goals. Don't think that they are wasted, because they're not. In those 6 months, you're gonna gain wisdom, knowledge. You're gonna grow as a person, get confident. You're gonna learn so much and you're gonna fall in love with the journey. And that is a reward in itself. That's beautiful in itself. And to make you even more motivated and inspired, this video actually marks my first day of my 6-month challenge of my own, where basically what I want to do is grow on social media and build my presence online, build the foundation. So that means we are in this together. So if you are ready to change your life in the next 6 months, then I want you to comment right now, I'm locked in. You can also find all my socials down below. I post on TikTok daily, on Instagram, and also I post on Snapchat. So if you want to connect, the links are down below, and I will see you in the next one.